I have quite the video for you today. We're going to be talking about getting high ticket repeat phone flipping leads. If you can't make it through this, it's not going to be a long video. If you can't make it through it, I don't know what to tell you. This is probably the best game I've ever put out. It's stuff I didn't even put in my free 6-hour course. It's not even in there. This is literally the best phone flipping game you may ever see, and I'm going to put you on right now. We're talking about high ticket phone flipping leads. What does that mean? Obviously, phone flipping isn't really a high ticket business. On average, I make $85 a flip. But when you have someone coming to you, bringing you 5-6 devices a week, that's pretty much high ticket in my opinion because of the volume you're getting. I have people that do that for me currently. These people are typically in some form of IT with big companies, 200 plus employee companies, sometimes less, sometimes a good bit more. These are companies that give business lines to their employees, business devices, iPads, phones, whatever it may be. You can get your hands on these devices. Most of these companies just take these devices and recycle them. There's no other video on the internet that's going to tell you exactly how to get in contact with people, get your hands on these devices for yourself, and have some of the best repeat customers in the game. If you're a phone flipper, meeting up with people on Marketplace is sketchy. From ads is sketchy. It's the worst people. They're always late, low quality customers. You want to just try and get away from that. Of course, those are a huge part of the business and you should never turn away money, free money when you have the chance to make it. But this is going to be the biggest game changer for your phone flipping business ever if you just apply what I'm about to tell you today. So focus up. It's not going to be long, like I said. First of all, we've already covered who we're going to target. It's IT manager, systems administrator, network engineers. Think IT director, different ways to word these titles. You'll see why in a second why that's important. Companies, mid to large organizations, schools, hospitals, and healthcare is huge. Banks, manufacturers, corporate offices, construction companies. There's a lot of devices out in those companies and they employ a bunch of people. Keep in mind, these companies upgrade 50 to 500 plus devices at a time. Think company-wide upgrades every 2 to 3 years. Often these companies will upgrade and typically they don't do it all in one. They slowly phase it out over a long period of time. So there's always devices going in and out of these companies. They're either recycling them or they've already got some contract with some other company and they're just making no money. The people I work with in the past have just been people who work in IT and the boss doesn't really care. He's like, yeah, you can just have the devices. So I've made personal connections with these IT managers and they just bring it straight to me, which is amazing. So it's not even like you're having to deal with the whole company or some hierarchy. It's just a person who ends up getting their hands on devices because they have this role. And it's a cool bonus for them. They probably don't even know they can make money this way. And obviously it's huge for us. It's a huge incentive because we can get our hands on a bunch of devices for a pretty good price. The reason for that is these companies aren't currently doing anything like that. So how do we find people like this? Well, you can go to the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I have it open right here. You do have to pay for this. It's a software. Hang tight. I'm going to show you some free methods in a second. This would be the best way if you don't mind dropping a little bit of cash. Why? Well, you're going to be able to filter a bunch of people in your area by their job or job type. It's going to pull up everyone in front of you. You'll easily be able to get in contact with them, get their contact info. I think LinkedIn just launched this recently, so that's pretty cool. But that's what you would do if you wanted to go that route. But I have some free methods that I think are better. Of course, you do some sort of Google search, conferences. This is some ChatGPT fluff that they threw in. Forget all that. Free method. We're going to go to Google search and we're going to look up IT manager, city, in brackets, LinkedIn. So I'll go ahead and copy this and just demo it. And I'm going to use a neighboring city to mine. That's pretty close just because I've already done this for some people in my direct city. But what I would do is I would do Spartanburg, LinkedIn, IT manager, Spartanburg, LinkedIn. So the first couple links, hiring, IT jobs, IT operations manager jobs, and then look at all this. Richard Bowling, Rusty King, David Davis, Derwin Lee. These are all people who work in IT in Spartanburg, which is again a neighboring city to me. So I put in the city name. Now all of a sudden, Google search is just giving me people who work in these fields. So we have Richard Bowling, for example. Richard, if you're watching this, sell me your devices. But he's an IT manager for AFL, it appears. And so what you'll see here is if I go to message him, I would have to do premium. I can do the 1 month free trial, which would be cool. That's definitely a good way to get started. I would take advantage of that. However, maybe you've used that in the past. Maybe you don't want to get into some trial where you end up having to spend money, you forget to cancel it, whatever. Well, there's a cool thing we can do here. First, let's go back to our document here. What would we say to get his attention? Well, if you're going the paid route, here's a cold email example, cold DM. I'm not even going to cover that. You can pause the video and take a look at that if you want to go the paid route, but we're doing free methods only today. This is what I would use right here, this connection note. Hey, name. I work with IT teams in, well, this is my city. So you would put your city here. Since we looked up Spartanburg, I'll just change this to Spartanburg for the time being. When they upgrade devices, instead of recycling them, I help monetize them securely with certified data wipes. Thought it might make sense to connect. Go ahead and copy this. And what I would do is go to more, and I would try to connect with them. And you want to make sure you add a note. Well, I've used all my monthly custom invites. So you get a few free ones to start. That's definitely what you should take advantage of. I didn't even know that was a thing because I was doing this before the video. I sent a bunch of them out. I guess you would just have to hop on the free trial, whatever. I would send the connection, and then I would send the message as well. So try premium for $0. The connection, it will let you send a set amount. Pretty unfortunate. I just now found out as I'm recording this live, but it's whatever. The point still stands. Even if you do end up paying for premium, it's, I think, $15 a month, and it might be less than that. That's basically nothing if you just land one of these people, because again, these are huge companies, 200 plus employee. They're rotating devices like no one's business. They're just trying to it's not even worth it for these bigger companies to try and penny pinch and get every last bit they can for these devices. It's already a write-off for them, which is way more significant than it is trying to sell them and get some money back on the back end. That's why a lot of times these IT directors, IT managers, they end up with these just in their own personal possession because no one cares. It's just insignificant in the grand scheme of things. That's why you want to get in contact with these people. Chances are they're already doing something with them and they're not getting enough for them. So if you can get in contact with them, have it be a completely seamless process, just how it is with all your other stuff, and give them cash every time they have new devices come in, it's going to be great for both of you guys, especially us. So anytime you can get devices easier with better customers and in a higher quantity, that's pretty much the basis of this business. So you're going to want to try this, milk this strategy until it's dry. Now, another thing I wanted to demo, other than just the Google search, there's another way we can find these people in the network. So the Google search is great because it pulls people up right away. What we can do on LinkedIn is actually just search, and we want to make sure we have it filtered by people. And then we're going to come over here to all filters and keyword. I'll just do IT director. Show results. And now we have all these same people. So some of these profiles you don't have access to until you grow your network. That could just be me. Another thing to note, make sure your LinkedIn profile looks pretty good. I used to just kind of troll on LinkedIn, so I had to clean it up a little bit before I started doing this. Make sure to do the same, look professional, put your business name in your bio, repeat what you do basically verbatim in that message in your bio and your about section, show that you're a real human. But right here, we can see all these local people. It seems it naturally kind of sorts it locally for me. This is the upstate South Carolina area where I do currently reside. And I can go to page 2, there's more. Page 3, there's more. Page 4, it just keeps going. There's so many of these profiles. Now, some of these end up being farther away as time goes on, but here's another one, upstate Greenville, South Carolina. And again, Greenville, South Carolina. So you can just connect with these people. And another cool thing you can do that I noticed is, okay, let's say LinkedIn is making us go premium to send the message. Well, one thing you can do is, I'll try and find a good example here. That's kind of long. Okay, Jason Cott, he's the IT director at Crown Laboratories. So you could just try Googling for an email. What was the name of that? Crown Laboratories? Yes. Okay. And we'll see what comes up. Chances are you can find an email on the website. So Jason Cott's email and phone. Okay. Rocket Reach. So these look like their software's selling the info, if I had to imagine. Yeah. So I'm not sure what that is at crownlaboratories.com. So I could connect with them. It looks like there's some sort of software that's selling these. This is apparently free. Again, I don't see any info. Now, for universities, it has to be public. I'm sure other companies rather, it's public as well. Clearly his information's out there. They've got it covered up. But again, with certain industries, certain companies, I know for universities, I saw one for Clemson University. I went to Clemson University, so I could just Google her info and it would be public. I could easily send her an email and use my connection of Clemson University to try and close a deal with her. Of course, use what you have in any scenario. Whenever there's camaraderie, it's always going to be good for trying to connect with someone like this and get their business. Now, you're not going to land everyone. You're not going to get responses from everyone. But if you send enough of these, there's no reason you wouldn't get one back. And these are the best people to work with. I promise you, it can completely change your business. And that's basically all I have. But seriously, if you're not using this, you're missing out on some serious high ticket clients. No one talks about this. These are my best customers by far. I have a couple of them. Some of them I meet with on a week-to-week basis. Others, they'll hit me up once every 3 months or so. But when they hit me up, it's amazing because I know I'm buying 10 to 15 devices at a really good price. And there's no sort of rebuttal. There's no hassle. They meet me on time and they don't complain about price. I'm usually making about $100 per device they bring me. They're always in good condition. One thing I've noticed about these company devices is most people don't even use them. These companies buy them for a tax write-off. They hardly get used, and so they end up being in really good condition, which makes it another huge perk to buy. But seriously, this is such a good tactic. Jason Cott, if you're out there, hit me up. Let's make a deal. But that's going to conclude it. This is a little bit different of a video, but I wanted to just be straight to the point. Show you guys just another method, another tool for your tool bag, ways you can get your hands on phones, electronics, devices. This works. Take advantage of it seriously.